I put this video together at short notice. I apologize for the background noise. Um, but I wanted to warn people about renters that want to rent in the Blount County, Tennessee area. Um, if you plan to move to the Blount County, Tennessee area, don't rent from the River Townhomes apartment in Louisville, Tennessee. And I'm going to give you information that was basically banned. And a lot of people will say, well, um, by making this video, if I posted on the review site, they said it would be defamation of character or whatever, or negative review, whatever. And you know, they tried to attack my review. And I'm just warning people. I'm currently living in the apartment complex right now. I'm not going to give you my name. People already know who I am, but I'm warning people not. We're going to be moving out of this apartment complex because of the following reasons, and it's a major problem, I think. They will turn the water off for long periods of time. It might be up to 3 to 4 days a lot of times. They don't have the individual shut-off valves for each unit at the Rivertown Homes. They got a website. I'm not asking people to post anything negative on the review site of the Rivertown Homes. You could probably find the website when you type in Rivertown Homes in Louisville, Tennessee. You would probably find it on a Google search. I'm just trying to warn people not to rent from this place. I'd like to see the place go out of business. In how they treat people here at the apartments. It's multiple units. As I said before, they will turn the water off for long periods of time. They don't have manual shut-offs for each one of the units. If something happens to one of the next door neighbors, like they have a water leak, they'll shut down the entire complex water system because the people here the people that run this place don't know what they're doing. They will also shut off for long periods of time, 3 to 4 days or so. The electricity will go out for maybe 4 days or so, and it happens every so often. It happens, I would say, every other week or every couple of weeks or so. They'll have a few good weeks, and then all of a sudden the electricity is out, and they'll shut down the entire complex when it comes to electricity. It's the same way. They have the electricity set up to where they don't have individual shut-offs for the electric. I think that's the way it's set up. They'll shut everything down, and it's the same way. They have bug problems, cockroach problems, you name it. The rent is extremely high. It's almost $2,000 or more a month. And you know, of course, we all know that rent is expensive anyways. There's really not much we could do about rent. The landowner or landlord dictates the price of the rent. But they could do something about shutting off the water for long periods of time, for up to days, 3, 4 days, sometimes weeks. We'd have a whole week's worth. I remember one time they had the water off for about 5 days, 5, 6 days. We couldn't flush the toilets. We couldn't take a shower. We couldn't shave. Couldn't wash the dishes. We couldn't wash our clothes. We couldn't do any of that. Um, and that's what you would be getting into if you rented from this apartment complex. I'm asking people not to post any negative reviews because it's not going to do any good, because the the apartment managers, the people that run this apartment complex, uh, they control the reviews sites. They try to delete the reviews that's attached to their website. I remember years ago, I posted a negative review about a certain church. I'm not going to name the name of the church. And one of the elders at the church called me on the phone and told me to delete the review. And also he contacted the other church that I was going to, tried to blacklist me, and I'll talk about that on another broadcast. But I'm going to specifically talk about Rivertown Homes Apartments. If you run across any apartments with the same type of issues that I've run across, you need to make a video. Try to post it on Twitter. Post it on YouTube, maybe Facebook. Well, of course, Facebook, they'll probably try to censor it, but I'm trying to do it on YouTube. I'm hoping that that the YouTube censors don't have a problem with this video. But I'm just warning people, and everybody has to rent sometime or another. And when they're trying to buy a home or build a new home, they have to rent because they're in the process of moving. They're in the transitional stage, and that's where we were at. We had to move from this other house we used to live at into the apartment until we finally got out of this apartment. I've lived in several apartments throughout my life, and this is probably the worst. I've never, in any of the apartments that I've ever lived at before, and I've lived in homes, and in different homes and different, different states. And of course, we'd have power outages, we'd have water outages, but usually if there was a water outage, it usually didn't last very long. And when you own your own home, you have a better chance of getting a hold of somebody at the water company or the electric company, and they usually come out and they'll fix the problem. But when you're renting from somebody, it's a pain in the butt. But this is probably the worst of all the places I've ever rented from as far as apartments. I've rented from other places, lived at other apartments. This is the worst of the worst. And I can't recall of any apartment that I've ever lived at that there's ever been a power outage or a water outage where they would turn the water off when they felt like it. They turn the water off anytime they want to. They think it's okay. They send out these little emails and they say, "Oh, we apologize for the inconvenience," and all blah blah blah, all a bunch of BS. And I'm just trying to warn people not to rent from this specific apartment. I don't know about these other apartments. I don't know if they have the same issue or issues that we have at this apartment complex. But if you have an apartment complex you're living at right now and it has the same type of issues that we have, I would suggest you not move into that apartment or move out of that apartment, and warn other people about the problems with those apartments. Don't waste your time posting negative reviews. about the apartment, because the managers of that apartment complex, um, they they could actually edit or delete your comment section on the review side if you give it a one check. I already tried, and they gave me holy hell about it. They don't like negative reviews. I mean, nobody likes negative reviews, but if it's factual, the facts hurt. The truth hurts, and they don't like the truth. And like I said again, if you run across the same type of problem or issues in your apartment complex, if you're currently living in an apartment complex, you need to make a video. Don't waste time on the reviews, posting reviews, because they will mess with your reviews. They'll delete your reviews, or they'll respond in a negative tone, or they'll make some kind of threatening statement or whatever. And if you plan on moving to Blount County, Tennessee, I can tell you specifically, I can tell you for a fact, um, you will not want to move to the River Townhomes apartment complex in Louisville, Tennessee. Um, it's just right off of Alcoa Highway. It's right next to the uh, McKee Tyson Airport. It's actually the River Townhomes is right next to the uh, McKee Tyson um, property. It's right next to it, um, and on the brochures or the uh, website, it tries to paint a beautiful picture of the place. It's overpriced, considering the problems that they have here. It'd be one thing if they didn't have problems. It'd be one thing if it didn't have water issues or have electrical issues or didn't have any kind of problems with bugs. They have all kinds of wild insects that I would not want to get bit by. Um, and lizards, you end up with lizards sneak into your apartment. Snakes have been known to crawl under the apartments. Um, there's all kinds of maintenance problems, maintenance issues. Everything breaks down all the time down here. But if it has anything to do with a broken faucet, if someone, and that you got to consider how many units they have in this apartment. So if they're going to do renovations or they have to shut down the water due to maintenance issues on a apartment complex, and if it says, well, it's going to take us a week to fix it, then that means you're not going to have water for a week, and you're just going to have to live with it. And they're not going to lower the rate of the rent because of the outages, whether it be water outages or electrical outages. Um, they also have forced upon the people. They won't give people keys to the apartments. They made people have these digital things where you have to punch in a code. They did that recently. I have a big problem with that. A lot of these apartment complexes are going to this digital thing where you have to punch in a code, and they changed the code, and we wrote it down, and we had a backup code, and they keep changing it anytime they want to. We ask them for a backup key. They got a key to each one of the apartments now, and they refuse to give the keys to the renters. I can go on and on and on. That's the main issues. Refusing to give keys to the apartment complex to the renters, which they're paying an outrageous rent for, considering the problems with the water and electrical and insect problems and God knows what else. Um, it's a big headache. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Whatever you do, do not rent. Do not rent from the River Townhomes Apartments in Louisville, Tennessee. We're trying to get the hell out of here. And I'm warning people, if you rent from this place, it will be a disaster.